All right, you heard Eileen mention it. The William Ligue case was heard today at the Cook County Courts. It was a sentencing for the guy who ran out onto the field and attacked Tom Gamboa of the Kansas City Royals last year, first base coach. And I'm a little shocked by this. Here's the guy who went out with his son. Now, the son ended up getting, I think, 5 years probation.
And boot camp.
And the dad in this case, 30 months of probation. And he must perform community service and remain in a substance abuse program. Although I got to tell you, the substance abuse program is working well for him because he's gone from looking like absolutely the most dangerous guy on the planet Earth to Harry Potter. So whatever it is, I guess the first thing to do is give you a haircut, and
that helps cover up the tattoos.
The judge said probation was an opportunity for Mr. Ligue to recover from his substance abuse problems and become a useful person. That's right, Your Honor. I would like to become a useful person. Although prosecutors had sought prison time on 2 counts of aggravated battery, as I call it, the judge said prison should be a last resort. He said that such incidents of fan misbehavior are so uncommon that deterrence is not an issue in sentencing. Oh, Your Honor. Oh, Your Honor, I beg to disagree. I pray I never stand before you in judgment while disagreeing with you, but I do say that, of course this is, I'll bet you the Sox are ticked off about this, and the Sox had an incident last night at Comiskey Park. Something about the Kansas City Royals. Brings out the worst in Sox fans. 5 people were arrested for rowdy behavior in the stands last night. I'm sorry, Monday night. Did I say last night? Monday night. And what day is today? Who am I? When I was at the Sox game a couple of weeks ago, a guy out in left field threw a beer at the left fielder, and they had to stop the game. And they went, the security went out there and stared up at the fans, and then they eventually took a guy away in handcuffs.
Well, that's gone on at games everywhere.
I know, but this is, 5 guys arrested for rowdy behavior in the stands.
Maybe alcohol fuels some of this behavior.
You think so? I think this guy should have done some jail time. I think they got to send a clear message here. Because now we're going to have more morons right on the field going, hey, what's the worst game? And they're going to probate me.
I don't think too many go out and attack. There's stunts. This was pretty...
I think they ought to. And now there's a new law going into effect as of January 1st.
There's life imprisonment.
Yeah, that if you
don't we already have laws? What is this?
No, this is a new law. The governor just signed it yesterday. There's a law that says that if you interrupt a sporting event or a concert or something, like a public a play, anything, school play, you run up on the stage, you do whatever it is, automatic life in prison.
Let me get this
without
straight.
Possibility of parole.
You can resist arrest, harass a police officer, probably get a slap on the wrist, because I've been over in criminal courts where they're tossing all these cases out right and left. But if you ruin our national pastime...
That's right. Let's see, what is the actual thing here? They face prison time and a minimum of $1,000 fine.
Yeah, it's a bigger fine. Yeah. I don't think it's likely you're going to go to jail, but it's a bigger fine. Unless you...
I think it should be. I think if you run out onto a sporting event field during a telecast sporting event, and it not only stops play, but it bores the people at home, automatic 15 years in prison. Is that too harsh?
They didn't show it when it was good stuff. They'd block out some of that stuff.
Well, here's
when Morgana,
what they should do.
That woman run out and bare parts of her soul.
New rule. New rule. You show the people running out on the field, and then they are immediately taken away to 15 years in prison. So that we're not encouraging it by showing it on TV, but when it is shown, it's such a move of utter stupidity that we're highlighting the fact they're going to get 15 years in prison.
Well, you are have you never had been, quote, overserved, as we call it in Wisconsin, and lost your senses?
Never.
And begged for mercy afterward? Never. Liar. And then Gary, were he'd here, he'd say that using alcohol as an excuse is a bogus excuse. But have you never had a drink? Do you know what it does to you? If you have the gene, go wacky. You get in fights you wouldn't get into.
The sponsor of this bill, Democratic Chicago State Representative John Fritchie, said Chicago was left with a black eye because of these stupid acts of a couple of people, and we want to prevent any type of follow-up activity.
The coach had a black eye and a ringing ear.
Yeah.
It's still causing him some partial deafness.
The idea of this bill is to serve more as a deterrent than a punishment. I think that the Honorable Mr. Fritchie missed the point here. I'm telling you, 15 years. 15 years.
I hope you never
minimum.
I hope you're not in the stands, turn to your lovely wife and say, someone has to do this, and strip down to the waist and run out on the field someday. Because, mister, you'll be begging for mercy the next day as you dry out in the tank.
Todd, you're on WLS.
Hello, my name is Todd. I'm a Sox fan.
We love you, Todd.
I was there Monday night, and that they only arrested 5 people is a miracle. They must have run out of handcuffs or something, because there were 3 fights in our section alone.
Now, was it any kind of half-off night?
Yeah, Monday night is half-price night, and the upper deck, so it's $10. And I think people reinvested their savings right into beer. That's what I did. But it was so obvious that there were going to be fights. We had guys show up in our section in Cubs hats and Sox Suck T-shirts.
All right, well, those are guys who were just looking for trouble.
We actually, the guys I was with, we all put money in a cup and bet on which inning these guys were going to get knocked out. And my friend Sean collected $30, 8th inning.
Wow. Well, you see, you go with the later innings. That's good, because the people are fully marinated by then. They're running out of time to make an a-hole of themselves. I did notice at the Sox, I never really see this at Cubs games. I don't see a lot of Sox Suck T-shirts, because a Cubs game is just one gigantic singles bar. And I think guys think they're less likely to get a little action if they're wearing a Sox Suck T-shirt. But at Sox games, the Cubs Suck or the Cork shirts, with the Cubs C on them that say Cork as opposed to Cubs, they're very fashionable there.
They're new. The Sox Suck T-shirts, I think, are new this year. My brother comes in from Boston every year, big Sox fan as well. And for years we would see the Cubs Suck T-shirts. And he said, the only thing worse than unrequited love is unrequited hate, because you would never see a Sox Suck T-shirt. And then this year up at Wrigley, I finally saw one. So it made me feel really good that they noticed us.
Yeah, that's nice. And so the guy wearing the Sox Suck T-shirt got the crap kicked out of him?
Oh, my God. It was brutal, and it took 20 minutes before security got up there. It was...
Well, yeah, because it's very high up there. Have you ever been in the upper deck before? Last Monday?
Once before. I brought my Sherpa along.
Yeah. Honest to God, you need oxygen up there.
But you know what? I'll tell you.
Was it snowing up there?
Different weather system. But it was, I was one of the guys knocking it, saying, my God, it's terrible. When you're sitting down, the view is actually quite good. It's when you try to stand up and walk up and down those steps, it gets a little frightening.
Yeah, well, when you're sitting down, it's fine, because you are literally hanging like on a ledge over the action.
Indeed, yeah.
So it's like the and that's why it was built like that. That's at least their excuse. It's like you're sitting in a blimp when you're sitting up there and you're overlooking the action. But the problem is getting back down.
Well, next time you go, bring a cut man. That's all I would recommend to people.
Right. Well, I bring a rope. What I do is I bring a rope.
A good corner man.
And
I'm talking about.
And that too. I have a rope though, and I have them actually tie the rope at the very top, and then I pull myself up like Batman and Robin.
Like Green Hornet.
Yes.
1-800-SJ.
Apparently, it pays to clean up, put on a suit, stop drinking. You might want to try it yourself. I'm Jim Johnson. WLS News. William Ligue Jr., the guy accused of attacking Kansas City Royals coach Tom Gamboa, sentenced today. Our Jennifer Kuiper has the story.
William Ligue Jr. has been sentenced to 2.5 years probation and community service. Ligue, who's changed his appearance since he and his 15-year-old son jumped from the stands at Sox Park and attacked visiting coach Tom Gamboa, pleaded guilty in May to charges of aggravated battery. The judge also sentenced Ligue to 3 months in jail, but considered it covered by the time the defendant already had spent in custody. Ligue's son also got probation, but was eventually sent to a boot camp for violating his probation. Jennifer Kuiper, News Talk 890, WLS.